Okay, Pastor, when you need support, tell me, where do you go? Or rather, who do you go to? Tell me who your three best friends are. Struggling to find that out? Well, let me talk to you how you can get support as the pastor. Hey everyone, it's Matt here. It's my day off. It's Friday. How many love a Sabbath day in ministry? Oh, it's so nice. My wife and I are getting ready to go to a nice dinner. I've had a good day doing a lot of little honey-do list things. She's so happy with me that I get to go to the restaurant of my choice. It's a good day. Listen, I tell you what, I have been calling a few pastors recently, especially a few that I haven't talked to in a while, reaching out to them because we're going to have a pastors meeting together. It's kind of a church ministry thing, but really it's just about community and showing unity in the church. And the reason I share that is it made me think, man, I'm calling pastors and I haven't talked to them in a while. And I wonder if they've had a pastor call them in a while. In fact, one of my dear friends who leads with me has just been going through some challenges as he's pastoring, and I just took a time to text him and say, man, I'm praying for you. God has his hand on your life, you and your wife. I love you. And he's like, man, that means so much. Thank you for the prayers. It's been tough. And I've learned that we as pastors don't do a great job of asking for help. We give help. We're sensitive to the needs of our family, of our church, of our staff and our teams. But when it comes to our needs and our things, we almost feel guilty, like, well, I should just pray harder and white knuckle it and just get through this. And we have a hard time finding out when I do need support, when I'm not at 100% faith capacity, when I'm going through a struggle or a hurt or a weakness, whatever it is. My first response isn't to reach out and say, hey, I need prayer, I need help, because you and I are always the people that people come to for prayer. That's my job. And it's also a blessing to be that pastor, that priest to people, to a congregation. But if I were to ask you, who are the three, the circle of three, that you could tell me that you could call them if you needed them? Or even better, you wouldn't even have to call them because you're in such close communication with them so often that they're sensitive, that they know what's going on and they're caring for you. I remember when my dad passed away about 3 years ago. He was a pastor, by the way. And it was on a Sunday morning as I'm leading a church, all the team. And my two of my three best friends texted me and said, man, I'm so sorry. Listen, one first texted and said, I want to bring you a meal over tonight. I said, man, you have your own church. He's a pastor. Don't worry about it. No, we're going to come. The other one says, hey, I'm bringing food over. I said, oh, he's bringing it. He says, no. The three of us, I had three guys, we've all talked. We're coming over to your house tonight. We're bringing a meal together. And it touched my heart. I cried. I felt so loved, so cared for. They laughed with me. They cried with me. My wife, my kids were there. And it meant the world that these busy men, these fathers, these pastors were taking time to care for me in my time of need. Those are my three. And I'm telling you, whether you're a guy, whether you're a lady, whether you're the senior pastor or you're a volunteer ministry leader, you need to find pastors and people that understand who you are. See, that's part of the challenge of us as pastors. We know, you should know that you can't share everything, or you can't lean too heavily on the people that lean on you. Now, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that you're not honest and open and authentic. The wrong thing is to put a wall of like, I'm the priest, I'm the pastor, and everything is good, and mourn in private. But I'll tell you this, for younger leaders or newer leaders, you do need to be very discerning and discreet to say, hey, I don't go to people that I'm to be a model and a discipler of for support. I don't tell them there's a struggle in my marriage. I don't tell them about a sin issue. I don't start sharing about we had a fight last night. Maybe you can share something that happened years ago that you got accountability in and victory over, and now you're living in victory as a story, a testimony. But we know that we have to be discreet and thoughtful about, not that we're dishonest, but we're just not sharing all the specific details with people because they need to see that we give them security and confidence. But because of that discipline as a pastor and ministry leader over people you're spiritually discipling, we tend to not reach out and build those relationships. Reminds me of what my mom used to teach me as a kid. We had me, my brother, and my sister, and they said, Matt, Sam, and Charity, if you want good friends, be a good friend. If no one's reaching out to you, you reach out to them. If no one's creating the party or the pizza party at night, let's have it over here and invite people. Make it happen. Take this step. And then that's very difficult when you're hurting and you're weak. And so what I would say is don't wait until you're in sin or a struggle or feeling alone until you build these relationships. Ministry is different than a regular job where you show up and you do tasks and it's always urgent and you're always doing the next thing that's important. It is not a task-oriented role. It's a people relationship-oriented role. And so you have to, I should do another video on this whole subject. I just got a great idea. Watch, it'll come. So the whole idea is I'm going to reach out to people with no agenda, with nothing really to say except I was thinking about you. How are you doing? It's been a long time. We need to catch up. We need to have coffee. I want to stop by and see you. And not that we have time to go have 3-hour sit downs with people forever, but with key pastors, key people that they understand what you do. They're there. They show that they're healthy and trustworthy. You are building a relationship, not for ministry purposes, but for one another, to support one another. We were talking as a church staff, I think just last week, and they were talking about the number one pandemic or epidemic in our country is loneliness. And our senior pastor was talking to us as the pastors, the ministry staff who are to go do the ministry, saying, we want to encourage you and love you, pray for you, that you will build relationships among yourselves in healthy ways. Have people over, check on someone, have prayer requests, study a Bible devotion together, laugh together, pray, love each other, and support each other. So I wanted to kind of emphasize that as you get busy in ministry, as you've got to be so careful with what you steward of the people that you lead, make sure you create those 3 or those 4 or 5, just like Jesus had, that support you. You draw them in closer to you. And it always starts by you taking the first step and say, hey, thinking about you, praying for you. Let's get together and share for no agenda other than to listen and serve and bond with one another. Tell me in the comments below if you have your 3 or not. And maybe we could have a conversation about how you could go find those right where you're at, because you're going to need them. And pray for me that we're going to have a really good steak tonight. I don't know if you like your steaks meaty. I was having this conversation in the hallway this week, one of my pastor friends. Now, Pastor Matt, you like the steaks well, medium? And I looked at him like, I hope I don't offend him, but I like a medium. He's like, I like a medium too. Because my wife likes them well. Be well.